Okay, Friday night to be specific, and it is it's quite late. It's just after 9:30 at night, and I'm here to train the legs. So feeling pretty low on energy, but the amino acids, the essential amino acids I'm about to mix up, does have some caffeine in it. So I believe, what is it, per scoop? No, per 2 scoops, 100 milligrams of caffeine. So per scoop, 50 milligrams of caffeine. So if I do 4 scoops, it'll give me about 200 milligrams of caffeine. But I'll probably lean more towards like the 2 scoop side of things. So just a little bit of a pick-me-up, 100 milligrams of caffeine, 5 grams of EAAs. The EAAs aren't really doing much, to be honest. Like, even though I'm in a mini cut at the moment and I am in a deficit, I'm eating adequate protein throughout the day. So these essential amino acids are really just purely more so for taste and flavor and just enjoying the consumption of 8 liters of water a day. So yeah, in terms of the overall flow of the session, I mean, because it is already 9:30 and the gym closes at 11, it actually closes a little bit before then because I have the clock set ahead 20 minutes. Yeah, ahead, back, no, ahead 20 minutes. And so I think it's just a way of them to kind of like flush people out before they have to close up so they can actually close on time. So I totally get that, I understand that. I mean, if I was running the gym, I'd probably do the same thing, to be honest. Screw hanging around half an hour to 45 minutes after you actually close, waiting for everyone to leave. But yeah, on the menu tonight, what we've got is calf press, adductors, some hamstring curls, leg extensions, hack squat, and GHR. So pretty much a repeat of last week's session, but the change that I'm making this week is I'm actually going to do seated hamstring curls instead of lying. I'm feeling up to it now. The surgery is healed a lot more, so I'm going to test the waters out. It's been a few weeks since surgery, so feeling pretty comfortable and confident with the idea of trialing out seated hamstring curls, seeing as they do kind of like the seat pad presses up against the area that I did get operated on, or that I had operated on, I should say. So I'll see how they feel and how they go. If they go well, we'll keep them in rotation. If not, I'll put the lying hamstring curl back in their place until a later date when it feels better. Yeah, overall recovery is going good. Although, like I said the other week, surgeon did leave a bit of the affected skin there. So whether or not that heals up on its own, or whether or not I have to go in for another round of surgery, that's yet to be determined. But knock on wood, it is healing, or it looks like it's healing on its own. So that'll be good, because that'll save me a nice chunk of money. If I don't have to go to the hospital again and get surgery in a foreign country without local health insurance, medical insurance. So yeah, in terms of like, I suppose, progression, I'm just going to aim to hit some rep PBs. Going to keep the weight pretty much the same on everything. Hamstring curls, obviously, because I'm doing seated instead of lying, I'm going to have to figure out an appropriate working weight for that this week. But everything else, I'll just match the weight or the load that I used last week, but just aim for like 1 extra rep on the final set, for example. If I've maxed out the rep range though, at the current weight that I'm using on any exercises this session though, I'll just scale the reps back and increase the weight. But yeah, pretty straightforward, to be honest. It was a pretty big day of work today, and I guess that kind of played into the whole reason why I'm here so late. But on top of that too, I didn't start my day as early as I normally do. I unintentionally slept in, and that resulted in me getting my day kicked off about an hour later than usual. And then I had to go to the pharmacist to pick up some antibiotics before I could start my day, before I could have my first meal. So that delayed the start of my day again. I had to walk there after basically I woke up, did my morning fasted cardio, the 30 minutes like I usually do, and then I walked another 20 minutes each way to the pharmacist to pick up some antibiotics and other medication, and then came home, showered, breakfast, everything. By the time I did that, by the time I'd finished breakfast, it was almost midday. So it wasn't wasn't an ideal day, let's just say that. It was very far from ideal. Nonetheless, I got it done, and I'm here at the gym now. I'll do a little bit more work once I get home, but it's already 20 to 10, so yeah, it'd be pretty late work. Nothing important, just some I guess I could say, paperwork for the business. I did all my check-ins first thing today. As soon as I started working, that's when I did all my check-ins. I always have that as my first task on the list for the day. I never want to leave check-ins till later in the day. It's always my top priority on my work days. So yeah, that got knocked out first, and then I just started plottering along doing the other stuff I had to do. So yeah, I'll see you guys in there for the session. Okay, because I got a heavier weight today, I'll be doing 3 sets. Just need to get the appropriate working weight. Alright. Actually, I made this exact mistake last time, didn't I? I set the seat too far back. So I'm a couple weeks, let me just check. I believe I'm a couple weeks into the mini cut now. However, I will tell you exactly. Yeah, so I'm just over 2 weeks into the mini cut, 2.5, nearly 3 weeks. Started the mini cut on the 6th of November, and it's currently the 24th. And I started it at 120.6 kilo. Don't know what that is in pounds, but I believe it's somewhere around 265, 266 pounds. And now I am 113.8 kilos of this morning. And I've dropped 2.9 kilos since the start of the week. So in the last 5 days, I've dropped 2.9 kilo, which is about 7 pounds. Yeah, 6 to 7 pounds. And this is the 3rd week of the mini cut. I'm down 6 to 7 pounds almost already in this week. So on average, I've been dropping 7 to 10 pounds a week for the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. It hasn't really been slowing down. Calories haven't been adjusted since the start of the mini cut, which is initial 1,000 calorie cut from 5,000 to 4,000 calories a day. And yeah, I'm still losing weight, which is surprising me because I've never been able to diet on anything over 3,500 calories. Like I've always started a dieting phase, like even a conservative dieting phase, say with a smaller deficit at 3,500 calories, let alone a mini cut. If I'd started a mini cut in the past, I probably would have had to have started it at around 3,000, 2,700 calories a day. And now I can do it at 4,000. So I've definitely acquired some new tissue, that's for sure. And I've just obviously built up my energy availability post-show to a really good place. And there's something to be said for that. If you are productive with your training, your nutrition year round, and you don't shit the bed after a show or after a dieting phase, you can really get your calorie intake up quite high relative to you as an individual. It's going to be different for every person. I'm not saying you can build your calories up to 5,000 plus calories a day and stay lean. That's not going to be possible for 80% of people, but you can build them up a lot higher than you otherwise would if you were to just basically completely shit the bed, binge after a dieting phase and regain a bunch of body fat and body weight. If you slowly and strategically increase your calories, titrate them up over time, following a dieting phase, you can retain the majority of the progress that you've made and get your intake or your maintenance calorie intake a lot higher than it would be if you didn't do that. And then if you stay there for a long period of time, as soon as you start a dieting phase, you can just pull 500 to 1,000 calories away from that new all-time high calorie intake that you're maintaining weight at, and you'll just suddenly start dropping weight. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting how it happens. It's just the way it is, I suppose. So that's a bit of an incentive, I suppose, to not completely just do a full 180 after you diet. Sure, you made progress. Maybe you got into the best shape of your life, but that doesn't mean you can just revert back to how you were doing things prior to seeing that progress. Otherwise, you're just going to basically revert back to your shitty physique that you had prior to the dieting phase. Three sets of these ones, the machine adduction. Okay, 3 sets on the machine adduction now. AMRAP essentially, 15 to 20 reps, but AMRAP. I know what I got last week, so I'm going to shoot for that. I don't see myself hitting a PB on this week, but I'll give it my best shot. I'll give it a red hot crack, as they say. Getting some calf and adductor cramps. Hopefully that doesn't screw me up, because usually when I start experiencing that, my body just basically messes up on me. But we'll we'll see. We'll test the waters, see how this next set goes. This will be the determiner as to whether or not I'm going to survive the third set. Because if I do kind of seize up and cramp up, it'll be on this set. Now when I do machine hip adduction, one thing that I really like to do is I'll slide my bum a little bit further forward on the seat and try and create a little bit of posterior tilt, so tuck the pelvis under a little bit, and then basically, yeah, just focus on contracting as hard as possible at that peak contraction, do a bit of a micro pause, and then slowly control the negative back out, micro pause at the deep stretch. And yeah, I definitely think you get a stronger mind to muscle connection when you have that slight forward seat position, a slightly forward setup. And yeah, if you have trouble feeling your adductors in this, definitely give it a go. I reckon it'll light them up like a Christmas tree. But time to get this shit done so I can get onto hamstring curls. Now, I've said this before, but it's been a minute since I did do the seated hamstring curl, so I figured I'd go over it again and rehash on it. When doing a seated hamstring curl, the biggest advantage to this variation is your hips in more flexion, your hips bent more. So if you're sitting back like this, as opposed to like this, you're not really milking its full benefit, if you get what I mean. So in order to get the full benefit of the seated hamstring curl, you want to lean forward, but make sure that the leaning forward is taking place at the actual hip joint and not the lower back. And this will just stretch the hamstrings a lot more, essentially. I just smashed my kneecap into this metal joint of the machine. That felt very painful. All right. I was not gonna fully lock out any more reps if I tried, so I had to call it there. All right, third and final set. And it's on to the quad work of the session. Well, yeah, and then back to glutes and hamstrings to finish off. Not counting that last rep, I didn't manage to lock it out. All right. Yep, that's the right weight. So got 3 working sets of these. Just set the seat further back so I can get a little bit too far back. So yeah, want the seat back so I can get more hip extension, more rec fem involvement. And 12 to 15 reps. Okay, so 2 of these, 2 sets of these, and then 1 final exercise to finish off. Feeling pretty spent at the moment. This is the second last exercise of the session, and people in this gym are pissing me off. So this is going to be hard. I'm going to try a slightly lower foot position. This is going to absolutely romp me. Felt a little bit of pressure on my knee there. I think I didn't control it quite enough on one of those reps. Shit happens there.